Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to From the Depths with the Zicargo. We're here in the designer mode, taking a look at 3 vehicles today. That's right, 3 of them. I've been doing these one by one for the most part, but these 3, they all kind of occupy the less flashy side of the army. So we've got a main battle tank, we've got a logistics vehicle, mostly, and then we've got a sort of simpler ship that can sort of fill the ranks wherever it needs to. Up first, we're going to start with this. This is the Lancer main battle tank coming in at 80,000 materials tank. It can go up to 40 meters a second over land. Now, why a battle tank in the quest for Niter? Well, I'm pretty sure there's land somewhere on Niter. It's been a long time since I've played it. I know there's at least a little bit. And I've always been fascinated with the idea of, like, submarines are usually highly effective against ships, but if you're facing something that's using torpedoes, you could always put a tank on land. And this idea spurred an entire craft on my end, and I wanted to make a creative turret for it. And I ended up with this turret. Now this turret is a little bit wacky. We've got a couple of different things going on here. So we have the 5x5 turret as the base, and then we've got a couple of spin blocks on either side. We do have a third spin block in here. Now this has, I feel it's important to be honest about this because some people don't want to see it, but this has clipped a little bit of armor. Let me explain why, then you can judge me. These spin blocks, technically speaking, because they're on separate subgrids, were vulnerable to flak. So what I found out is that the simple weapon 20mm AA gun here could actually turret cap the whole thing simply because the explosions were able to wrap inside. So I either had to ditch the whole turret, which I did consider, or I needed to go around this in one way, shape, or form. On some other designs, I tried using turrets on angles, and that kind of worked, but I wanted to see how this worked, essentially. So this one turret, it does have this done. Whatever, this is an experiment. We're doing it on one to see how it is. If the turret ends up being ridiculous, then we'll be available to come back and change it. Now, as far as the shells that are being fired out of this bad boy, the bigger guns are 179mm. They are firing these shells, these slow Hesh shells. I'm a big fan of Hesh. I feel like this faction uses Hesh. I don't know where that came from. It just keeps sticking. The smaller guns, they're firing higher velocity Hesh, so these are 950 meters a second. Of course, higher fire rate with 6 of them. We also got a decorative helipad on the back here because this is primarily for transporting materials. So if I get the chance in the campaign, I want to use these as essentially shore guns or material movers. It's basically felt like throwing together a tank, and that's what this kind of is. Now this turret, I fell in love with this turret and I had to make another design with it. We'll get to that in a second. Cover the armor scheme here. It's solid HP with a little bit of EMP protection in there, a little here and there. It requires very little power, so it's RTG powered. God, there's so little engines, you can't even find the engines. Here we go. And then the RTGs themselves here are just below the AI on either side. Got some side AI compartments for some extra detection and whatnot, but really not very much at all. Relying mostly on battery power. If it does have to fight, it will slow down eventually, but pretty low upkeep. It's free to move, it goes over land, and it can fight back. On the rear here, we have a detection turret, sort of taken from my Overseer, because I really liked how this turret has come out, as well as another turret underneath this, which is a interceptor missile system. It's decent for the size. It's not going to stop volleys or, staggered fire, but it'll stop a couple of missiles and it'll stop a couple of cram shells. So just a little bit of a defensive layer to add there. I wanted to give it something. I don't know how much use we'll be seeing out of this, but I really like how this came out as far as a tank goes. Up next, we have the Dragoon Blockadeer. This is a little efficient barricade ship, if you will, sort of rank and file almost, like main battle tank but in ship form. Just something to sail the seas and shoot back or control, deny area, support my other forces. It's not meant to be super flashy, although it ended up a little flashy. There we go. Get out of the stat screen. No one wants to look at stats for that long. It's 146,000 materials, and it can go upwards of about 30 meters a second. Now this, as you can see, it's got twice the turret of the Lancer main battle tank over there strapped either side of the bridge, as well as 2 of these detection systems on it. Around the outside, I went ahead and did a whole light alloy. I don't even know what to call this, but essentially it was top heavy, because I don't know if you can. I don't know how well or how easy it is to see, but the whole thing is about 5 meters thick of alloy, and these turrets are actually quite large, and there's some metal in them. So the thing was top heavy, and I decided to add this whole, I don't know exactly what to call them, this whole sort of outer like structure that's kind of attached, kind of glued onto the side of it to help essentially with stability. Because it's all made of light alloy, so it's all buoyant, and it helps move center mass a little bit. And I tried to base that roughly off of the Watcher patrol boat that we already have. So I sort of took a little bit of this action and put it a little bit all over here with some fancy deco work to make it all fit together. And similar to the Watcher patrol boat, I took the sonar decoy that is on the bottom of it. I doubled it up here because it's a much more expensive ship, and these decoys don't typically take more than 1 shot to get exploded, so 2 of them means it can take 2 shots. Now this thing, I'm actually quite interested in seeing, because let's go ahead and turn the HUD back on here, and then boom, let's take this away. So the whole structure inside the base of this ship, pardon all the deco blocks, it is actually made of ducts here. So if I get rid of this and just shrink everything, maybe that'll make for a much better view. So here we go. Here's the view I am looking for. So inside we have all the turning thrusters, and then most of the hull is made up of these ducts. There's not large internal caverns with either empty space where water can flood in, or functional components. The thing is almost a completely solid mass of metal and alloy for most of the way through. It's got a little bit of resource storage in here and spread around all over the place. It is also RTG powered. It has, but yeah, the thing itself is just a block of armor. It's got a little bit of ammo. Yeah, a lot of EMP protection, a lot of health pool, a lot of, this thing doesn't really care if it gets hit anywhere with a torpedo. Blowing up the hull of this thing is not worth it. It's solid HP. So in here, we actually have the AI strapped, saddled, like sort of right in between the 2 turrets. I'm kind of experimenting with that because I just want to see how this goes down. I'm not sure what to expect from this craft, from this hull design, and so I just kind of tried a couple of different things. So far, with the testing that I've done, this thing is really hard to beat unless it gets hit right where the AI is at, which, I mean, the same thing is true for pretty much every craft I've ever made and every craft I've ever shot at. Go ahead and get rid of this. Oh, Jesus, that was a bit excessive. Now, I didn't end up carrying torpedoes over onto this design. If I have to have a severe torpedo presence, I've got 3 other craft that'll fill that role. 2 of them are submarines, and I'll be showing those off soon. Up next, I have a logistics vehicle. Now this one is simply called the Hive, and it's broken its little dongles. How unfortunate. Anyway, the Hive is most of the same hull, minus the whole outer bit, because it doesn't need the extra mass and stabilization. It's a lot faster, it's a lot lighter, and instead of ammo, it carries more materials, has a little bit more repair capability. This is really just a resource vehicle that's been converted from a combat hull. So it is coming in at 61,000 cost, can carry 110,000 materials, should be a pretty decent utility logistical craft in the background. It's fairly fast, and it's got some of these torpedo decoys on it as well. So the only idea with these torpedo decoys is if it has to fight, hopefully it can contribute that. The hull itself, since it's mostly the same hull, is incredibly durable. And of course it's got an inter-vehicle transmitter on it, so it can also provide detections, meaning it can help. If there's drones nearby in a close fight, I might be able to use this essentially as a meat shield, and not just a resource carrier. So that's also something I haven't really tried before that I definitely want to try out this campaign. All of these craft are kind of experiments. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all very much for watching. I know this has potentially been a bit of like a shortened one. It feels short to me. I don't know how it feels to you guys. I didn't want to spend too much time on these craft. I'm ready to get into the campaign and just show you what they can do more so than talk about what they can do. But speaking of talking about what they can do, I've also got this Guardian airship over here, which, wait, let's line up the money shot. There we go. I've also got this Guardian airship over here, which we will be talking about next time on Zicargo's Garage in From the Depths. And until then, thank you all very much for watching. I do hope that you've enjoyed. Where did the Lancer go? A Lancer has decided that it is a lobster instead of a lamster. No, I'm leaving that in. Screw you, I'm leaving that in. The Lancer has decided that it is now a lobster and has gone to be with its people because, of course, they need him. And these designs, they're going to be going up when the channel hits 200 subs. I feel like all of them are going to be the kind of bread and butter, backbone, if you will, of my fleet. Hopefully, I don't have to spam any of these designs in particular. I am hoping that I can use this Dragoon here to support the other designs, the subs and the flyers and stuff, and not as the main fighter. But we'll, of course, have to see how it pans out. I don't know yet. I have been avoiding testing. This is actually something I'm going to let you guys in on. I've been avoiding testing my designs too heavily because I don't want to be certain what I will win against. I want to see it unfold and experiment more. I want to see, I want to throw my children out of the nest, and if they splat horrendously at the bottom of the tree, then that is just what happens. I mean, it would be unfortunate because they are gorgeous children in my opinion, but hopefully they don't splat at the bottom of the tree. Anyways, if you have enjoyed, leave a like, because that lets me know that you enjoyed it, and watching numbers go up encourages me to make more videos. So thank you all very much. As I said, I do hope you enjoyed. I'll see you soon, probably early next week with the next episode. Got a couple more of these, and then we're gonna be doing that sweet campaign stuff that we keep talking. It's a myth. It's like winter. Okay, eventually winter will come. If you're a Game of Thrones nerd. Okay, and when it does, oh man, is it gonna be at least pretty? I don't know. If they all fall out of the tree and splat, it may not be that. I'm rambling, and it's been a long day. So thank you all very much for watching. I'm gonna get out of here. Goodbye. So long. Farewell. Let's wait for another money shot. Oh, there it is. There it is. Thank you all for watching. I'm out of here. See you guys later.